part is a small piece of heaven hidden between Thailand that everyone heard of, Singapore, and Indonesia. Indonesia has been heard of from the point of view of Bali, right? But Malaysia, it's right in the middle.
But don't tell everybody that I love Malaysia, because we don't want everybody in Malaysia, okay?
Ooh.
You Balinese? No.
Wah.
That I prefer Malaysia to Bali in particular. I think it's very important in the Indonesian.
Oke, ini kalau seperti ini terus guys, ya antara Phuket Thailand, ya Bali Indonesia, lama-lama nih kalah nih guys. Kalau tidak cepat memperbaikinya akan kalah dengan Malaysia. Serius ya. Wah. Aduh, Bonnie Blue. Yo, what's up, Re? Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hai, Re. Jumpa lagi ada saya di sini, Wak Lonjong. Salam lonjong. Hiya. Apa kabar kawan-kawan? Semoga semua dalam kondisi yang sehat, Re ya. Amin ya robbal alamin. Oke, geng. Tanpa membuang masa, jadi ada satu video yang cukup ramai di request nih ya dari di Instagram guys ya. Kecewa dengan Malaysia sebab tak macam Bali atau Thailand. Ya iyalah. Kalau di Bali, Thailand kan turis-turis kan boleh. Oke, goyang mang. Ya kan pasti fam-fam saja lah guys ya. Itu. Oke, hal ini membuat Malaysia berbeda. Oke, ternyata ramai pelancong yang tak sadar guys ya. Malaysia rupanya antara negara yang paling terjaga di dunia. Jadi mungkin inilah satu perbandingan antara tempat wisata bagi para turis-turis ya, baik itu di Malaysia, Bali, dan juga Thailand. Oke, kita akan coba nonton geng bersama-sama seperti apa video dari Ria Oktorina. Tapi ya, seperti biasanya hanya sekedar mengingatkan untuk kawan-kawan yang mungkin belum sholat, jangan lupa sholat dulu geng. Kita akan coba nonton bersama-sama seperti apa ulasan dari Ria Oktorina guys ya. Ya beda lah, kalau di Bali, Thailand boleh. Oh, kalau Malaysia kan ya lain cerita kan. Aduh.
Belakangan ini muncul cerita dari sebagian turis asing yang merasa kecewa saat pertama kali datang ke Malaysia. Mereka datang dengan ekspektasi tertentu, lalu membandingkan Malaysia dengan destinasi wisata seperti Bali atau Thailand. Dari sinilah muncul pertanyaan, mengapa suasana wisata di Malaysia terasa berbeda dan tidak dipenuhi pesta seperti yang mereka bayangkan? Namun di saat yang sama, ramai orang luar negeri justru menyokong keputusan Malaysia yang tetap mempertahankan marwah negara dengan membatasi perilaku turis agar tidak berubah seperti Thailand atau Bali yang identik dengan pesta. Karena Malaysia dikenal sebagai negara yang menjunjung tinggi nilai syariat Islam.
Tuh kan. Wah. Aduh, Bonnie Blue.
I think one of the reasons that I prefer Malaysia to Bali in particular, I think it's very important in the Indonesian context to actually talk about Bali and not Indonesia, because Indonesia is 17,000 islands and Jakarta, for example, is like a drastically different place than Bali. But if we compare like Bali and Malaysia, I think one of the mistakes that the Indonesian government has made with Bali is that Westerners or foreigners have been allowed to kind of come in and be completely prioritized, and there hasn't been always the consideration for local people and making sure that there are actual triple wins happening, meaning triple wins for the government, wins for the local community, and wins for those foreign visitors. And I think that this is part of why Bali is not a great place to be now. Because the traffic is terrible, because road infrastructure has not been sufficiently invested in to actually cope with the number of people who have come in. There's been very little regard to maintaining Indonesian character, Indonesian culture, or Balinese character, Balinese culture on the island. It really is, you go there now and it is influencers everywhere, wannabe entrepreneurs everywhere. And while you know, you can kind of look at that as like, oh, okay, so this is now a hub of global culture. I'm most inspired by places that manage to balance global culture with local culture and perhaps are able to present global culture with a very distinctive taste of local culture.
Ooh. Don't y'all come playing with Bali. Bali is not playing with y'all. Y'all better. Malaysia, I'm sorry. I love Malaysia. But don't tell everybody that I love Malaysia because we don't want everybody in Malaysia, okay?
Ooh.
You Balinese? No.
Wah.
It's too much going on. But I feel you though. You do vacation in Bali. Then you go back to your nice place in Malaysia and don't tell nobody you in Malaysia. Ooh. It's not for that. Don't be quiet. Shh. Malaysia is the best country in Southeast Asia.
Wah, Malaysia the best country in Asia Tenggara, guys. Okay.
Tell nobody. We don't want people to know that, okay? And keep your voice down. Don't even say Malaysia, okay? Stop it. No. Go to Bali. Jesus. Hallelujah.
So many Malaysians comment this, and honestly I was a little bit surprised to see this comment again and again. Please keep quiet, because everyone knows that tourism is good for the local economy. Tourists come, tourists spend money, hotels, tourist shops, museums, food, and whatever else. I really found it strange, and I decided to read more comments. Scrolling, and I realized that one of the real fears that many Malaysians have is Malaysia becoming the next Bali or the next Phuket, which by the way I completely understand, because we've all seen videos of Bali and Phuket and how at times it can become terrible for the locals yet wonderful for the tourists. So reading all those comments, I really understand the concern. Malaysia has so much heritage, so much culture, that exchanging it for a crazy tourist would be such a sad deal, such a sad trade. By the way, look at the views. However, I don't think that Malaysia is at risk of this crazy problematic tourist crisis, and that is for two main reasons. Reason number one, very simple. Malaysian arak is not cheap. That's the main thing that attracts this kind of tourists, is cheap alcohol. Compared to Thailand, compared to Bali. Yes, by the way, you can look at Thai alcohol tax and say, oh, it's quite high as well, but they have their own locally made cheap alcohol, all the chang and whatever. Yeah, that's one of the main things that attracts this kind of tourists. Reason number two, the reputation of the country. Especially if you're looking at Malaysia as someone from outside of Malaysia, a modest, conservative, non-drinking country. And if you are a crazy tourist that wants to have that kind of fun, a modest, conservative, non-drinking country is very unlikely to be on your list of places to go. The good thing though is Malaysia's tourism is still booming, still managing to attract a lot of tourists, but they're coming here for the right reason, and it is much easier to attract tourists to a country the way that Thailand did a few years ago. Yeah, you attract them, but what happens to a country at the end of the day? I've been to Phuket myself, and would I even think considering living there? No, because it's unlivable. Good for Malaysia, seriously, respect to Malaysia for being a growing and leading tourist destination without using all those low ways. And I hope that Malaysia's tourism keeps growing without sacrificing a single piece of its Malaysian soul. By the way, if you're Malaysian, follow me and let's discuss all these interesting things together. I've lived here in Malaysia for half my life, and I think there are so many things to discuss and explore. Jumpa lagi semua. Terima kasih daun keladi. Ada masa jumpa lagi.
Oke, ini kalau seperti ini terus guys, ya antara Phuket Thailand, ya Bali Indonesia, lama-lama nih kalah nih guys. Kalau tidak cepat memperbaikinya akan kalah dengan Malaysia. Serius ya.
Bener juga ya.
If you were to ask me what I would change about Malaysia, it's probably going to be the way how they promote their tourism. Because it's such a hidden part, it's a small piece of heaven, hidden between Thailand that everyone heard of, Singapore, and Indonesia. Indonesia has been heard of from the point of view of Bali, right? But Malaysia, it's right in the middle, and from a promotion perspective, I haven't heard about Malaysia as much as one should praise Malaysia until I've actually moved here. I've never been in Malaysia, I've never been to Southeast Asia until I moved to Malaysia. And obviously now I've been here for 3 years, I've traveled around, I wouldn't want to live anywhere else. So yes, it's very hard to find something that's not good about Malaysia.
The most underrated city in the world. We are back in Kuala Lumpur, the KL Tower and the Menara 118, the Merdeka Menara 118 just behind as well. I absolutely love this place. It is such good energy, loads of food, loads of lovely people, and extremely affordable as well. Extremely affordable. My accommodation has a pool, has a gym. It's like £6 a night. It's ridiculous.
Malaysia is the most underrated country in Southeast Asia. I just spent a month there, and here's what I think. Everyone actually speaks English there. It's also relatively clean compared to the other countries in the region. And the food in Malaysia is the best I've tasted across all of the world. Kuala Lumpur is also super modern with great infrastructure. And it's way less touristy than Thailand. The country is Muslim, so I thought it was going to be super strict, but you can actually buy alcohol, they have nightclubs. It's not as great as other countries, and alcohol is quite expensive. If that's what you're looking for, don't go to Malaysia. One thing I forgot to say is how cheap Malaysia is. I found that some things are actually cheaper than in Thailand, but some things like alcohol, for example, are more expensive. One of the downsides with Malaysia is that it's not as flashy as other countries. It doesn't have so many tourist attractions, but it's definitely a great place to live long term.
There's this one comment about Malaysia that I keep hearing from foreigners that are visiting Malaysia for the first time. And it always makes me think, like, really, where do you guys take it from? Every time I meet some foreigners that are visiting Malaysia for the first time, I ask them, how do you like it? How's your experience in KL? And literally like 7 out of 10 people say, I did not expect KL to be like this. I'm always asking them, okay, what did you expect and what do you mean? And then say that they did not expect KL to be so modern and so developed. I'm always thinking, what did you think it's gonna be? Surely you've heard about Petronas. Did you think it's like built in the middle of the jungle? I've heard people comparing it to the cities in the US and saying that it's looking very wealthy, very developed, and very urban. But then for me, I was surprised the other way around. Before I came here, obviously with the research and with knowledge about Twin Towers, was expecting KL to be quite well developed and the skyline being very impressive. But I did not expect it to be so green. That's what stood out to me at the very beginning, that even though it's such a metropolitan city, the crazy amount of high buildings and complex roads, that is still so green and so jungly. So I don't know where do people get that expectation from, but I'm every time surprised by this comment. Let me know what comments have you heard about KL or Malaysia that made you surprised.
This doesn't feel like Malaysia, you know. This is on another level, that's for sure. Look at the amount of people next to Louis Vuitton here.
Louis Vuitton, oh iya guys.
People come here to make some photos or something. Look, Christian Dior, JD, Louis Vuitton, wow.
Barang-barang branded.
Really impressed, guys. That's very nice. Got Rolex on the other street. A lot of photo shooting going on. So I just walked around the corner and look at that. You've got Balenciaga, you've got Saint Laurent, Richard Mille, Burberry, Tiffany, Glen. All the most famous brands in the world, and Rolex, of course.
Rolex.
This is insane. I'm so impressed with Kuala Lumpur. Wow. Probably the best city in the world, I would say. Very safe, I feel very safe, very clean, beautiful, outstanding architecture. Outstanding architecture, guys. Wow.
Oke guys, dari menit awal sampai di menit ke-12 nih guys, saya dengar memang ramai sekali yang puas dengan Malaysia, terkagum-kagum ya. Bahkan sampai tadi ada salah satu bule atau macale itu tinggal beberapa tahun. Tapi ini oke sih, melancong ke Malaysia oke saja ya, asal jangan lupa pulang. Itu Jangan lupa pulang karena kan terlalu enjoy maybe guys ya. Mereka terlalu enjoy di Malaysia sih. Oke, kita lanjut lagi, geng.
I really don't understand why people always go to Kuala Lumpur and skip other places in Malaysia, because all the country has many interesting, beautiful places, interesting culture, food, and everything is amazing. I spent 1 month in Malaysia and it was not enough. I had to leave the country because my visa is expired, but I definitely want to come back. I haven't been to all the places because I love slow traveling, but I visited Penang, Kuala Terengganu, Pulau Kapas, my favorite place, Kuala Lumpur, and Melaka. And 1 month is really not enough.
Iya, betul, gak cukup.
Honestly, I think here's the most friendly people I ever met during my almost 2 years of traveling. So if you're traveling in Southeast Asia, you have to explore Malaysia more. I bet you'll be in love.
Memang betul apa yang dikatakan dengan bule Minasale ini guys ya. Dia tinggal 1 bulan di Malaysia itu rasa-rasanya agak cukup guys untuk mengeksplor semua Malaysia. Saya pun begitu ya bro. Saya juga begitu sis ya. Jadi rasanya tak cukup lah kalau kita mau explore ya Malaysia itu 1 bulan. Rasa-rasanya cuman hanya berapa negeri itu ya. Minimal ya 2 bulan lah minimal. Itu pun belum tentu cukup juga sih guys ya untuk mengeksplor semua yang ada di dalam Malaysia ya. Terengganu, Melaka, Johor, ada Negeri Sembilan, belum lagi ibu kota Kuala Lumpur ya kan. Waduh, Perak, Perlis, Kelantan ya, Kedah lagi, apalagi yang saya sebut ya, itu masih di Semenanjung. Belum nanti di wilayah Borneo, Sabah, Sarawak. Waduh, malah lebih dari 2 bulan guys rasa-rasanya ya. Mungkin 3 bulan ya belum tentu cukup lah guys. Itulah, aduh. Oke, kita lanjut lagi guys.
Something I really love about Malaysia, as someone who's lived in Malaysia for about half my life. No, it's not the food, it's not the people. Yes, I do love them all, but there is something that I think not many foreigners know about, and that is of course that once you come to Malaysia, you don't have to go outside of Malaysia. That means you don't have to go outside of Malaysia to get some medical procedure done. You don't have to go outside of Malaysia to get anything done, because actually Malaysia is advanced to such a level where it practically has everything that you might imagine to the top level. For example, 2 weeks ago, I went to get a hair transplant done. By the way, have a look. All the redness is gone. I'm feeling completely fine. That's because it was done by some of the top professionals. I've been watching videos online of people flying to Turkey to get it done, of people flying wherever else to get it done, and guess what? I've always seen those recovery videos of people looking like Megamind. I was expecting to be having this kind of reaction. Lucky for me, this is how I look after 2 weeks. Obviously, everyone is gonna have a different reaction, this and that. The point is, my friends from Russia, my friends from Europe were messaging me and saying, wow, we didn't know that Malaysia has this kind of procedures. We didn't know that you can get this done in Malaysia. That's awesome. And why can it be awesome for them, by the way, is because the price in Malaysia for this top kind of quality that you can get here is reasonable. And this is just one procedure. When I was 11 years old, I had my tonsils removed here. So that's like a whole different kind of a surgery, right? And guess what? I didn't even have to pay for it. The insurance covered it. So that's another nice thing about living in Malaysia. The insurance, I guess, maybe was a little bit more generous about 10 years ago. Yeah, but I'm not here complaining. You have everything here. You don't have a reason to even go out of here. So yeah, terima kasih Malaysia. Since I came here when I was 11 years old, still living here, and even for a vacation, Langkawi, Port Dickson, once in a while, I guess it's nice to go somewhere, yeah. But mana-mana pun boleh di sini lah, support lokal dan eleksi bro, budak kampung selalu.
Aduh, ya itulah guys ya. Intinya ramai masalah yang puas ya. Tapi di luar sana ada beberapa yang ya sepertinya nampak kurang puas dikarenakan ya begitu guys ya kan, kalian pasti paham saja lah. Oke, tolong fokus. Ini kenapa ini?
I do love Malaysia because this country make my love simpler. First, You don't need to buy warm clothes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
always summer. You never have to worry about 4 seasons.
Ah iya, betul
The
betul.
food. And anywhere I go, I can find something incredible. It makes me feel safe and taken care of. And the third, most important thing, it teaches you patience. You cannot hustle here 24/7. Things move slower. You have to wait. And this slowness saved me from my own hustle culture mentality. Dear Malaysia, and to all the Malaysian people, thank you so much for this beautiful country.
Why did we leave New Zealand to come to Malaysia?
Focus, guys.
And why did we apply for our Malaysia My Second Home visa so we could stay here? First of all, the quality and standard of living for us here in Malaysia is so much more higher. It's so much more obtainable. In New Zealand is expensive. Everything is expensive. Food, power, petrol, just your every day-to-day life is expensive. Second of all, the medical system here is fantastic. You can go and see a specialist just like that. You go to the hospital, you go to the office, you take a number, you go to see a specialist. That's unheard of in New Zealand. You're going to be 9 months down the track until you see anybody or even talk to anybody. Third is the people and the culture. Everybody here is just so much nicer, so much friendlier, so much happier, and I feel like it's really good for the kids to be able to experience a different culture, a different language. New Zealand is so far away and so isolated and so in their bubble, they have no idea what's going on the other side of the world. So it's really good for the kids to understand that there's not just New Zealand. And the last one is the tax in New Zealand. The tax system in New Zealand is insane. The tax rates are super high. So here in Malaysia, it works to our favor. So this is why we're here.
Salah satunya dari teks itu guys ya, yang kalau di New Zealand sangat-sangat harga kayangan guys ya. Kalau di sini ya sangat-sangat oke bagi mereka ya. Oke.
To our favor. So this is why we're here.
Nah, sebabnya kami di sini.
It's a random Tuesday in Kuala Lumpur and look at this. Skyline. People jogging. The grass perfectly cut. Look at this. Oh my God, look at this park. It's gorgeous. Look at that.
And I'll come back to Malaysia. I'll keep coming back to Malaysia. I mean, I just felt balanced.
Ini yang tadi nih.
Sometimes I party a lot.
Black Mamba nih.
I didn't even want to party like in Malaysia. It wasn't even that vibe. I was like, just like healing or just in a spiritual state or something. Like it felt so good. I didn't want to mess up my spirit and my mind and my body. And I know I'm rambling on and on about the same thing, but guys, you really healed me and I appreciate you. And I'll forever appreciate Malaysia.
Sebagian turis memang datang ke Malaysia dengan harapan menemukan hiburan malam, pesta besar, dan kebebasan tanpa batas seperti yang sering mereka lihat di Bali atau Thailand. Ketika harapan itu tidak terpenuhi, kekecewaan pun muncul. Namun, anggapan ini sebenarnya lahir dari kesalahpahaman tentang identitas dan arah pariwisata Malaysia. Malaysia sejak awal memilih jalannya sendiri. Negara ini tidak menjadikan pesta dan hiburan bebas sebagai daya tarik utama. Sebaliknya, Malaysia menempatkan nilai, norma, dan jati diri bangsa sebagai fondasi pariwisatanya. Inilah yang justru mendapat dukungan luas dari banyak pihak, termasuk dari masyarakat internasional yang memahami pentingnya menjaga marwah sebuah negara. Ramai orang luar negeri menilai bahwa tidak semua negara harus meniru Bali atau Thailand. Setiap negara memiliki hak penuh untuk menentukan batas, arah, dan karakter wisatanya sendiri. Malaysia dikenal dengan pendekatan pariwisata yang lebih tertib, sopan, dan berlandaskan nilai-nilai yang dijunjung oleh masyarakatnya. Pembatasan terhadap perilaku turis bukanlah bentuk penolakan terhadap wisatawan asing, melainkan upaya menjaga keseimbangan antara pariwisata, budaya, dan nilai sosial. Malaysia tetap terbuka bagi dunia, namun dengan prinsip saling menghormati. Justru inilah yang membuat Malaysia memiliki identitas yang jelas dan berbeda dari destinasi wisata lainnya di kawasan Asia Tenggara.
Itulah, jadi memang ada perbedaannya, nampak kental sekali perbedaannya guys ya, baik itu di Phuket, Thailand ya, dan juga Bali guys. Kita coba lihat ya komen-komen daripada netizen guys ya. Nah ini dia, sebelum kita anggap orang barat itu kaki mabuk, enjoy rupanya ramai antara mereka dekat ketenangan, dengan ketenangan maksudnya mungkin ya, bahkan cuma datang Malaysia sebagai turis las-las masuk Islam. Nah ya itu dia guys ya, alhamdulillah lebih mudah dikawal, lebih mudah dakwah mereka dari yang muslim dari lahir, tapi ritual aneh-aneh. Ritual aneh-aneh. Oke. Betul, suka buat ajaran-ajaran sesat yang bukan-bukan. Nah itu guys ya, itulah. Kita lihat apa ini. Aku bangga jadi anak Malaysia, walaupun Malaysia tak lagi semengah macam dulu. Maksudnya apa semengah ini guys? Tapi masih lagi dikawal dan dihormati. Agama Islam dan adab sopan santun Melayu perlu dijaga hingga ke akhir hayat. Oke. Jangan datang ke Malaysia, kami nggak ada wifi, tinggal alas pokok duduk dalam gua. Pergilah wadidau ke Bali atau Phuket. Waduh. Ya, balasannya macam mana nih guys? Betul, silalah ke arak murah. Malaysia tak perlu jadi negara mabuk penuh maksiat, tak perlu tarik pelancong perangai musibat, tarik mereka yang berperangai baik dan luhur. Malaysia sengaja jual arak mahal supaya tidak menarik wisatawan yang mencari arak murahan, karena mereka selalu bikin masalah. Itulah yang terjadi ya itu guys, di negara-negara Asia Tenggara yang lain selain Malaysia ya, baik itu di Phuket, di yang satunya lagi itu guys ya. Jadi para turis-turis ini karena sering atau sangat minat dengan mereka buat kacau nih guys. Serius ya, mereka buat kacau ya, buat aktiviti bodoh ya kan guys. Itu, dan hal itulah yang membuat para penduduk lokal ya, rakyat tempatan itu risau. Wah ini orang bule masalahnya kurang ajar betul ya, karena mereka dalam pengaruh begini guys ya. Astagfirullahaladzim. So geng ya, macam mana boleh komen di ruang komentar ya. Oke, sepertinya cukup sudah untuk video kita kali ini guys ya. Saya minta maaf apabila mungkin kalau ada kesalahan kata-kata baik dari awal video sampai di akhir video. Seperti biasanya kalau ada video menarik yang mungkin boleh kita ulas sama-sama, silahkan kirim link videonya di DM Instagram. Dan akhirnya saya Waklonjong pamit dulu guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Semoga Allah melindungi kita semua, amin ya rabbal alamin. See you, bye bye.